Nearly 100 communities nationwide held events protesting new voting laws across the country. The day marked as the National John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Day of Action and urged the passage of H.R. 1 for the People Act and H.R. 4, the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. While some Republican lawmakers have called the bills unconstitutional, advocates see them as a matter of civil rights.
There is a problem with voting in America, which is a fundamental right. It equalizes us all. People realize that it's time to come out and confront the forces that are opposed to the exercise of that right to vote.
The voting rights advocates also want to see D.C. earn statehood and a change to the filibuster rule in the Senate.